I'm so sorry, how did he die? It was an accident, I lie. But it was the complete opposite, and he deserves all the credit. And the pain would be almost too much to bear. All the hugs that we would share, all the tears we would cry, all the times we'd ask why. Why did he have to die? Why did he not say goodbye? All I do is ask why. Why do I keep feeling like I have to lie? Over and over and over again. When will this lying come to an end? I'm afraid I will always have to lie, because I'm ashamed to say it's suicide.
He was a wonderful man. He was what I thought was my soulmate. On the first day we met, he was a resident, and I remember thinking, oh, he's very depressed.
He's my dad. I'm the oldest of three, so I guess I knew him the longest because I was 15.
James Heintz was my father. We were pretty close, as you could say father-daughter relationship is. I always felt like he was more of a father figure than an actual showing caring person.
He was really into how his body was. He was very into being physically fit. Going up to it, he was in an accident, and he really hurt a lot of his body.
He was hurt. He couldn't walk properly anymore.
He was into running, and he couldn't run anymore. He barely could walk. And he was in a wheelchair for a year. And we decided, we didn't decide, he decided. He said, I'll be damned if this wheelchair keeps me away from my orthopedic surgery.
Being a doctor, I guess you're kind of busy, you're on call, you have to be in surgery. Well, at least he did.
He was an orthopedic surgeon and loved it. He loved helping people. And so we got him back to orthopedics, and it was very hard on him. He was in pain all the time. And I slowly watched that pain get more and more to him emotionally. I always saw the love in his eyes, even if he couldn't express his love. I saw it, but the day before he died, his eyes were like black. And I remember looking at him, and I said, Jim, I can't even see the love anymore in your eyes. What is going on? You've got to snap out of this. He got up, and he always wears a suit and a tie and a white shirt. That was his outfit. He always wanted to look very presentable. And I remember laying in bed, and because he always got up very early in the morning, and I said, which tie are you going to wear with that suit? And he showed me, and I said, that's nice. And he kissed me, and we always kissed goodbye and hello. And an hour later, I got a phone call. And it was the lady in his office. And all she said was, he's hanging. And I hung up the phone, and I thought, I gotta get there really quick to save him. I have to save him. So I put on my clothes really quick, and I ran out of the house. I didn't really put together what it was that she said, so I'm at a stoplight, and I called up the office, and I said, what is going on? What do you mean he's hanging? And she told me that he hung himself. And I started losing it. And then I look in my rearview mirror, and there's a cop car sitting right behind me. And I just get out of the car in the middle of the street, and I run over, and I said, you gotta help me. You gotta get me to my husband. I gotta save him. And I realized it was the same cop car. It was the same cop that was at the accident that was behind me. He wouldn't let me see him. And I didn't know what to do. And so I called my parents.
Our grandparents both showed up to our house, so we're thinking, oh no, something else happened.
We basically spent the day together not knowing what was happening.
Our grandmother sat us down at our kitchen counter, and she told us that our father had passed away.
I remember specifically thinking, I don't really believe it. There's got to be some way. He's not really dead.
They finally let me see him when he was at the morgue. And I looked at him and I kissed him. And his lips were still warm. And I just told him I loved him.
I guess I really didn't know how it happened until our mom got home and she finally talked to us, and I think we all needed to hear it from her. We didn't want to hear it from somebody else.
I had to come home now and tell my 3 daughters that he was gone. And I couldn't explain why. It was the worst day of my life.
I was mad. I think part of me is still really mad. I think the hardest part for me is that I kind of had to grow up really fast, and it's hard to take the second parent role in your family when you're 15 years old.
There was a long time when the realization of him dying didn't even hit me.
I realized I never will know because I am mentally and emotionally not where he was.
When people ask you how it happened, I don't want to tell them because some people stare at you like what? Are you serious? Or they just don't get it, or you don't know what their personal opinions are about some stuff like that, so it's kind of hard to judge.
This is a small area and they all know that Dr. James Heintz died of suicide.
I definitely think just missing the fact that I have a father is difficult. I constantly go back and forth thinking of whether it would be better if he were here or if it was a better decision that he did actually kill himself.
I have no idea, because honestly, I don't even know why he did it. He didn't tell anyone he was going to do it. He didn't leave us any notes. He didn't do anything the way you see it in the movies. You don't get the letter that you find a couple of days later, the letter next to the body. We didn't get anything like that. And I know that my mom searched for months for something, and we didn't get anything.
I found out afterwards he attempted suicide 3 times before this time, and I didn't know it. You can never change a person or stop them from thinking of it. You can make it prolonged. I believe that once he met me, I prolonged his life an extra 18 years. But I couldn't have prevented it. I don't think I could have stopped it, no matter what I wanted to do. Oh, it's not selfish. It's definitely an illness, because Jim loved his 3 girls. They were his world. If you see pictures of him with them, the way he looks at them, he loved them so much he would never leave them. So it is not selfish. If it's anything, he felt he didn't want to let them watch him slowly die.
At times I think that it might have been selfish of me wanting him here because he did have an illness and he was clearly struggling through life every single day. I definitely wish we could have kept him around longer and tried to work through it.
I think it is selfish because it's happened to me. That because of him killing himself, I lost out on a lot of things that a lot of other girls get to have with their fathers, and I don't think that's fair. I think a lot of people think it's selfish, especially when it's the people they love.
It may also seem selfish because my mom was then left alone, but I do not necessarily think that it is a selfish act, because I do not think that my father could have gotten through his depression.
He did everything for those girls. He would, in the wheelchair, he'd say, I have to take a nap now, so I was awake when the girls came home, so I can help them with their studies. He was one of those dads that came home at 6 o'clock every day so he could be with the girls at dinner to see what they were doing during the day. So selfish? Never. No. It's an illness that people have. And it's a devastating illness because it leaves the people left behind very sad.
It upsets me so much that people just openly mock suicide because it seriously is a big problem.
I don't know if we're better off because he did it. It changed me a lot from what I used to be.
For you, when you heal yourself, that's it. You don't have to deal with the pain anymore. But everyone else that's left here has to deal with the pain constantly.
I think of him every single day. He was the love of my life. And I miss him so much.
I don't really know the difference between having two parents and not having another anymore. It's just the way it is. I only have a mother.
I guess I just kind of lived my life knowing the fact that I had a great father for a while. And now I don't have him anymore, but hopefully he is watching over me and he sees that I'm turning into a really great person.